Glasses.
Morning, good morning.
Good morning.
These ones are a little bit different than the heels I usually wear, so I actually do have to be conscious. Most heels I could run a marathon in, but I'm not going to be too cocky in these ones because I could trip. A little more of a pitch to these things. Test one, test one. All right. So we'll go here. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
So, and we are recording, did I hear?
Yes, I
Okay. Beautiful. I thought I heard now recording, but I also could have made that up in my head. So Thirsty Thursday, the last Thursday of the month is just a couple of days away. Remember that we have shifted from Haps and Apps at Elixir to Thirsty Thursday here at the office. We will have all of the fixings for your favorite Dirty Diet Coke or Dr. Pepper, or wine or beer, or you are welcome to bring your own something else if you would like. This is just a time to hang out socially. We all are so focused and busy on what we are creating and our productive activities that it's nice to have some time to just hang out and unwind with one another socially. One of the things that I really love about being friends with other people who are in the real estate field is there's a whole lot of things that are like short coded that I don't have to explain. Hey, I'm sorry, no matter how intense and wonderful this conversation is, I could get a call that comes in on my phone that I have to run away from the table for a minute and go do something. Other people in our lives can sometimes be a little bit offended by that. And I feel like we just all understand it. And so one of the many benefits of having real estate people that you are friends with. And then Friday from 11 to 12, we have Mastering the Repsy. So this is the course presented by our broker, Lindsay. She will go through and do an in-depth review of the Repsy. If you haven't refreshed on the Repsy recently, this may be a good thing for you to do in advance of the changes that are coming through so that you can feel really comfortable with where the contract is now. Certainly, if you are a newer agent, I would say if you have written less than 100 Repsys for real life people, I would be making it a priority to be in the room every time Lindsay goes through the Repsy so that you can really build that skill. And then right after that, from 12 to 1, we've got our live buyers presentation. I was just explaining to somebody today that no matter how much someone tells me how a process works, I am someone who can like take all of that information, I take notes, I absorb it, but really the magic for me is when I can watch somebody do it. So I like having all of the details and then watching how that's supposed to come together, and then I feel like I can duplicate it. And so that's a part of the reason for us having the live buyer presentations and live listing presentations. The other is that we have a lot of requests from agents to shadow. And obviously it could be a little awkward if Lisa Coccabella walked into her next listing appointment and had 6 agents trailing behind her to watch. But by doing a listing presentation here for us, she can have 60 agents that are basically sitting with her at the kitchen table and seeing how that magic comes together. And so take advantage of those opportunities to see how it's done and to really shadow the agents without having to go out into the marketplace for that. Critical conversations. So we are going to continue working through the book, Exactly What to Say. And this is because this is one of the skills that we have identified is so crucial for this changing marketplace. And yes, I'm going to quiz you again. So what are the skills that we are focused on for the foreseeable future as we navigate this shift?
Negotiating.
Negotiation.
And you just walked in and you already know the answer.
I know everything.
Yeah, it's true.
Negotiation, it's the second skill.
Conversation scripts.
Conversations, which is i.e. scripts.
Straight A student right there.
What?
You're a straight A student right
I
there.
don't know.
Well,
And then the third one is your value. If you can articulate, demonstrate, and deliver on your value proposition, effectively communicate through conscious conversations, i.e. scripts, and you have strong negotiation skills. As long as you will get out there and talk to people about real estate, that's the third component, or the fourth component. As long as you will go out and actually have those conversations, you are going to make it through this shift just fine. In fact, you are the exact kind of agent that will be able to build market share through the changes that happen in August. But if you are not focused on your negotiation skills, if you are not practicing those conversations and scripts and having really conscious conversations, and if you can't articulate and deliver on your value, then you're going to be a part of, I would say, the majority of agents that are going to struggle and are going to see that these shifts are a detriment to their business. So we are going to continue to focus on giving you every opportunity possible to work on those skills. One such opportunity is the Critical Conversations in Real Estate course. So the author of the book, Exactly What to Say, is presenting this course. I went through and did most of it on Monday, and then they are repeating the course again on Thursday. And we will have a viewing party for this course on Thursday here in the training room. So if you want to attend this, I have already paid for it. You do not have to pay for it. We'll have the camera flipped off, but you can be in here, and this is the schedule for the day. So it starts at 8 a.m. goes until 9:30. There's a break. Then part 2 is 9:45 to 11:30. Then there's an hour-long lunch break. 12:30 to 2 is part 3. Then there's a break, and then 2:15 to 4 p.m. is part 4. I would say, even if you can only attend a part of this, I would. What you will find is a lot of the magic words that we have been going through in team meeting. Phil Jones will help you know how to apply those to your actual real estate experiences. And what I really loved about this course on Monday is that it was mastering the art of stacking up those magic words, so that you're really using them to create your scripting and your full conversation. So be here. Attend that.
it's this week, right?
That is this week. Yep. So this Thursday, and I believe we'll be in the training room. Double check with Isaiah on that, because it's possible the room is booked for something else, and we'll be in the boardroom or somewhere else. But this Thursday, starting at 8 and going until 4. And now I'm going the wrong direction. All right, and then we do have our lunch and learn presented by V Money right after team meeting today. I think we've got another slide for you later in
Yeah.
the.
I'll expand upon this.
Okay, perfect. Team meeting on the 2nd of July. So 1 week from today, we have Don Stevens, who is the current president of the Salt Lake Board of Realtors, coming to share with you what our local response to the changes in the real estate industry that are coming through in August is going to be, how to talk about these changes with your clients in an effective way, and then how to talk to the media about these changes. We have had agents that have been approached by different media outlets. And so Don has done a beautiful job of explaining these changes in a very clear and accurate way, and fact checking some of the more sensational journalism that has been out there. So I was really excited that she was willing to come and share all of that with us. So plan on that the 2nd of July, right before you head out for your 4th of July plans. And then we will, of course, be closed for the 4th of July. I hope that you have a wonderful, fun, and safe 4th of July. Okay, so watch for some communication to come from the Market Center. We are going through some changes in the technology platform with Keller Williams International. We're very excited about these changes. And they are not only adding features and portions of commands that are making a difference for agents' businesses, but there are also changes on how the back end for how our Market Center is handled. This is going to make reporting easier, more efficient, and more accurate. They are changes that they have rolled out slowly through the country. So I very much like that we're kind of right in the middle of the rollout. So we let a lot of the bugs get worked out in other states that I don't care about. And here in our state, we are rolling out now that some of that has been worked out. I was going to say the main thing, but really the only important thing for you as agents with this is that we will not be able to initiate any new opportunities between July 1st and July 8th.
Did you hear that?
I'm
Everyone,
going to say it again. We will not be able to generate any new opportunities July 1st through July 8th. This is not a, we will not, as in, we decided it would be inconvenient and so we're not going to do it. But if you come in and you cry and you beg and you bring a coffee, I'll tell everybody on the team, let's just make it work. Like, we genuinely will not be able to access the opportunities to generate any new opportunities, and we have to have an opportunity generated in order to pay you. So what that means is if you have any closings that are happening between now and July 8th, you have got to submit those opportunities now. You will be able to add compliance documents. So let's say you have a closing that's scheduled to happen on July 7th, create the opportunity, submit the commission request, and then let's say between now and July 7th, you get an addendum free and there are you will be able to access and change them. You'll be able to load compliance documents. But if you don't initiate that opportunity because you think, oh, things might change, it's not a priority, it's not happening until the 7th, you will have to wait until the 8th, but you will have to wait to be able to initiate that opportunity. So we will not be able to initiate any new opportunities between July 1st until July 8th. Between the 1st and the 8th, no new opportunities. Blake, you have a question?
So on the slide, it says 7:30. Does that need to be 6:30 as?
Yes, that is 6:30.
Okay.
We'll fix that.
Question 2, does submitted mean like actually submitted to the Market Center for approval? Or do I just need to have an opportunity created and I can still get paid within that time?
you will not be getting paid between the 1st and the 8th, no matter what. So from the 1st to the 8th, we can't pay.
Then what's the point of submitting that?
My understanding was if
You
the opportunity was submitted, we'd have the DA so that that could be paid.
I think we talked about it.
Set out.
Let me,
Let's
okay.
get
just
clarification
let
on
me
that.
pause, let me text her.
And also just if there is a submitted versus just created.
I would say create it and submit it.
Create it and submit
I've
it,
got
and
mine all created,
we are not surprised.
but I don't have them submitted because I don't care about
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, create and submit. And it is the 1st through the 8th. Now, we have a holiday in there, so that is a benefit. That is a 1-week time period. The 1st is a Monday. The 8th is a Monday, and then the 4th is a holiday. So that typically helps. I was happy about the time period, but please make sure that you get these opportunities submitted. Yes, and Jessica's gonna double check on that. So that is the 30th. It is the last day of the month, basically. So the last day of June, after end of day, once we start transmittal, you will no longer be able to submit any opportunities.
Which is actually Friday,
No, the 30th is a Sunday.
so Monday is the 1st.
Monday is the 1st, so
We
you will
can't
not
do
be
it
able
on
to do any on Monday.
We can't do it on the weekend, well, we
You
could.
can submit an opportunity over the weekend, that would be fine. It's just by end of day on the 30th. Well, it is warm in here. We have asked property management to address, thanks for being in this with me. And I'm very glad I'm on sleeves. Okay, so, this is where it gets a little confusing. Critical Conversations is the training that will be broadcast. We'll have a watch party somewhere in the Market Center on Thursday. Crucial Conversations is another training that is going to be focused on these skills that we have identified are so important moving into this market. So this is your save the date announcement. More details will be coming. We do have a national speaker who is affiliated with the company that wrote the book, Crucial Conversations, that will be doing a 3-hour training specifically for agents. They will know the challenges that you are facing, what we are looking at as far as skill building, and be working specifically on that with you. This will be for all of our Salt Lake County Market Centers. It will be held in the Daybreak area. It will be a 3-hour training, about $30 a ticket, and on July 30th. So mark your calendars now. Again, this goes through that filter of the things you most want to be focused on right now. So this is something that I would be prioritizing. And then who has gone to our amazing Linktree link? Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you, Rachel. I almost had a heart attack, but at least somebody has gone.
Someone saved.
So everyone take out your phones. I know you have them here. Y'all, mine's on do not disturb, and I'm not gonna look at it while I'm presenting, but I still have it here because I can't be anywhere without my phone. And you're real estate people, I know you're the same. I want you to scan this and save that link on your phone. This is your go-to resource for the questions that come up. Anytime we are asked for like a link to something, more information about something, events coming up, frequently asked questions, Isaiah will be adding that to our Linktree. The idea with this is that you have ease and that you never have to wonder. It's one of the things that I love about being alive at the time that I am alive, is that I don't have to wonder about anything. I can Google that stuff and get the answers. So I never have to wonder what year was Elton John born. I immediately can look it up and find it. You never have to wonder anything that is happening as a market center, but I'm getting some.
I think QR code working. So you might have to wonder.
All right, y'all just gonna wonder. We should probably check them on the cards too then and see if there's an issue.
Robin.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
You can.
Guys, Isaiah is so super busy, and from personal experience being at the front, 90% of your questions can be answered by searching just below. And then where it's all in one spot, this does a huge help to the leadership team. So take advantage of it, especially if you took the time to build it out even more. Take advantage of it to help your leadership team.
And we'll get it fixed and figure out why it's not working.
So yes, no, if it's, so any checks we have, so any checks that we have on the first will be processed if the commission tab is complete and compliant, then nothing during the blackout period, no checks will be paid. Anything we have coming out of the blackout period will be processed after the 8th.
Okay, so I guess the reason then in getting your opportunity in would be that then you can be in the first batch of checks that is processed on the 8th. So if you have a closing between the 2nd and the 7th, raise your hand. Do you have a closing between the 2nd and the 7th? No? Okay. If you have a closing between the 2nd and the 7th and it freaks you out that you're not going to be able to get a check until after the 8th, please come and see me before the 30th and let's talk some strategy, see if we can get them to close early. At very, very least, make sure that your opportunity is turned in so that you can be in that first batch on the 8th. But then please just know, we are not being mean, that we cannot write you checks, we just can't process anything until the 8th. All right, coming soon. Who has listings coming soon to the market?
Oh,
Ooh,
Lori.
Lori D. Back the mic.
I have a Western house, prime condition. It's about 4,800 west and 8,200 south. Only one owner, absolutely immaculate. It does have an ADU in the basement. Fully stocked, so 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths up, 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths down with a kitchen. I get access to that apartment in the basement. We will be listed at 749.9, and it's hitting the market late this week or early next week.
Excellent. Sounds like a great listing. Anything else coming soon? Thanks for on such a great role with coming soon. All right, let's see. Still made it to double digits for listings this week, so there will be no soapbox speech. Congratulations for the 12 listings taken last week. Mike Heslop is strapping the brokerage on his back and getting us here, so you can all thank him that I didn't bore you with a really long speech about taking listings, because he took 7 this last week. Dana Conway took 2, and then Joe Reardon, Abigail Mumady, and Shauna Winters all had listings. Let's give them a huge round of applause. All right, Crimson Club winners. So we mentioned, I think last week when we did the May awards, the one award that we did not have was the county-wide Crimson Club award winners, because the county records have not been pulled. So that has now been done. Congratulations to Dave Bachman from the Salt Lake office for being 3rd place for individual. And our very own Cameron Burnside for coming in 2nd in the individual category, county-wide. Now Cameron's office is just right there. Let's talk a little louder. And then 1st place winner is Annie Cannon out of the South Valley office. For teams, we had Rock On Real Estate in 3rd from Salt Lake, Mason Homes from Salt Lake in 2nd, and Murray and Favero also from Salt Lake in 1st. So Salt Lake killing the team category. For groups, Emily Hayes from the South Valley office was 3rd place. And our very own Bustos and Reardon was 2nd place with 27 units, $14,636,100 sold. Congratulations. And then congratulations to the Stern team for being number 1. Will say, because winning is more fun than fun is. I am really impressed with the numbers that Bustos and Reardon puts up when you compare the size of that group to the other 2 groups that are in that top category. So when you see someone from Bustos and Reardon, give them a high five, give them knuckles, give them the acknowledgement that they deserve. Brandon, their ISA is in the back there, and he kills it. When you're in the market center, see him doing laps around the building and setting up appointments. So congratulations to that group. Market at a glance. This is in the slide so that you have it in your records and can compare your week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter. And the real magic comes when you stack up enough of these to be able to really show what's happening in these different price points over time. So be sure that you save that. Mortgage Minute. Money, right?
Yeah, I'm always ready. I just make these up on the spot, so.
So you're absolutely ready. Do you have slides with this or just?
No, just
Okay,
this real
cool.
quick. Guys, rates are looking good. I don't know if you've seen. So I just locked in, I got FHA is 6.25, which to me is, I'm really excited about. I don't know most people, but it
Is your microphone on?
says it is.
Is it green?
It is great.
You might have to hold it closer, because I just heard you lock somebody in at 6.25 and I didn't see anyone jumping up and saying, can I get an hallelujah?
But there's no discount points.
No,
That's straight.
6.25. So before you go on and say more, if you have been talking to people in your database and they have said, I want to wait and see if rates come down, locking someone in at 6.25 would be a reason to make a phone call. Okay.
Absolutely. And then a few conventionals I got in at 6.99. So really cool traction going on there with the market. The class I'm putting on, it's not just a mortgage 101. I'm going to be talking about how to utilize seller concessions. So sometimes it doesn't make sense to do a 20 grand price improvement. Sometimes it might be, let's just do 10 grand in seller concessions, and I'll show the math on that to show how it makes sense. So it's gonna be a win for the sellers and it's gonna be a win for the buyers. We also got a product from Freddie Mac. It's a 0% down conventional. I'm closing these all the time right now. No income cap, first time home buyer. I'm gonna review that one with you guys as well. I've had a lot of clients sitting on the fence, kind of figuring out their down payment. They don't qualify for a lot of the grants because of the income caps. So this product doesn't have an income cap. Getting people's earnest money back at closing. They're really excited about that one. So I'll talk about that, seller concessions, and then we'll kind of go over temporary buy downs. It'll be a quick 30-minute class. We also got lunch for you, Chick-fil-A. And then I found out you had a question last time I was here about VA.
Yeah.
So back in the VA usually doesn't let your buyers pay your commissions. Now with the new NAR stuff coming out, VA said, hey, give us a few years to figure this out. Go ahead and do what you need to do. So they're basically saying, yeah, go ahead. VAs won't be a problem. So the buyers could technically pay the seller, the buyer commissions. So I got an answer for you on that one. And then we'll kind of go over that. That 0% down Freddie Mac I was talking about, I think, do not quote me on this one. I think they're gearing towards that to see if they can make it work for your buyer concessions. So financing that 3% down into a silent second, 0% interest. I think that's what they're kind of navigating towards. I'll talk more about that in my training though. So.
Okay. All right, thank you. You guys don't want to let that fly, right? Like, that would hurt my feelings if I just said 6.25, 6.99, VA is gonna be okay. And we think they're gonna be able to roll this to the zero down program, and then I got like. Because I was sitting down, it'd be very sad, so let's get back. It's not real hard. Thank you.
One quick question, and why did rates drop? And correct me, that's almost a 1% drop, or?
That's a great question. If I knew what the market was doing, I'd be a rich man. So I kind of just follow what it does. I know we had some good reports come out with inflation consumer index.
But is that also a 1%
reports? FHA's were about 6.7 a few weeks ago now, so about a half a point.
Okay.
But, and they're continuing to go down. And guys, this is election year, so you're gonna see those rates go down slower and lower, so.
All right, change your words, change your world. So our previous magic words, I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to. Help me understand. When would be a good time? I'm not sure it's for you, but what do you know about? And how open-minded are you about? So I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to. Quick refresher. This is the let your person save face opener. Oftentimes we avoid follow-up when really we should be doing the follow-up because we guess or we know that our prospect hasn't done the thing that was supposed to happen in order for us to move the conversation forward. And we don't want to have that awkward conversation. Two, this allows you to flush out the objection before it becomes an objection. So by you leading with, I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to going through the contract that I sent over. That keeps them from, you talk to them about moving forward and they say, ooh, I haven't had a chance to look at that contract you sent over yet. Does that make sense? So you are allowing them to save face. You are fleshing out this objection so that you can continue to move the conversation forward in spite of. And in assuming the worst, you leave the room for either they're gonna look up and go, oh yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to look at that yet. And it's not a big deal because you were guessing that they hadn't gotten a chance to look at that yet. Or you give them the chance to be the hero and say, oh no, I went through that. And so then they did a great job and they get to feel great and give themselves a gold star. So times that you could use this, again, I'm guessing that you haven't got a chance to look over the documents that I sent over. I'm guessing that you haven't gotten a chance to talk with your friends about if they're still thinking that they want to sell. I'm guessing that you haven't gotten around yet to meeting with other agents. I'd love for you to just turn to the person that is closest to you. Let's not get too locked into details. Just find someone who is near you. And each of you come up with one opportunity that you could use. I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to in your actual real estate business right now. Which means that if you have a transaction that you're working with, you could use an example of that. If you don't have a transaction yet and you're a brand new agent, maybe you would use an example of something that you would be using this week when you're calling your database, or something that you would be using when you are talking to a friend. But I want everyone to practice something with, I'm guessing that you have not gotten around to like. Sound good? Ready, set, go. Turn to the person closest to you.
Right, yes, you have it around.
You know, I have not gotten around to that. I'm very lazy about
We're gonna do a lot of times, especially right now.
I'll let you go here.
I'll email that.
Right, I have.
What did you think about? Usually.
All right, wrap those up.
I make sure I see that specific.
Help me understand. So help me understand is something that you can use when somebody says some nonsense. So if there's a potential for conflict in the conversation, you're talking to a seller and they look at the comps that say their property is worth $750,000 all day long, and they say, yeah, I think we're gonna list it at $850. Help me understand how you came to that price. Help me understand what's important about this to you. Help me understand the thought process on this. So help me understand gives them the chance to break down their thought process. And if their thought process is not based in logic, it gives them a chance to hear that. Now, I do not suggest that you follow up, help me understand, and they break down their process and it's totally illogical. And you say, so you're hearing that makes no sense, right? Don't follow it up with that. You want to follow it up with some other questions where you really seek to understand. But I would say, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but at least 7 times out of 10, you won't have to frame it for them that makes no sense. They will be able to hear themselves say it and that it doesn't make sense. And you can often then ask them a couple of other questions. So in my first example, they say they want to list at $850. You say, help me understand how you came to that price. They say, well, we really want to be at that price. And this is, we'd already kind of spent the money in our mind. And because we're going to have to do this and this, that's what we're going to need to do. And then you can say, so you were in the buying process recently. If you were looking at these same comps at $750, and then there was a property listed at $850, what would your response have been? And they can look up and say, yeah, I wouldn't have done that. So then you can from there find other strategies to accomplish what it is that they're looking to do. The other time you can use help me understand is when you are just looking to discover more motivation and dig deeper in the conversation. This is an alternative to tell me more about. And tell me more about is something that I use a lot. Here's the problem with tell me more. Tell me is a command. So tell me more about that can feel confrontational. It can feel too direct, whereas help me understand can be a little bit softer, and there are personality types that are going to respond better to that. So tell me about why you want to move to Sandy. is a little bit more direct and more likely to put them on the defensive, then help me understand what's important to you about this move to Sandy. Rachel,
I can talk about, I was gonna say, just as a side note, this is backed in science. When you say help me, there's scientific data that shows that people want to help other people. So when you ask it that way, it switches something in people's brains from, like you said, confrontational to something that's just genetically bred in all of us. So there's some psychology basis behind doing it that way.
okay, so same exercise, turn to the person closest to you. It can be the same one, you can pick someone different. And let's everyone just run one, help me understand, that you could use in your business or in your life right now. And go.
Mine right now. I have a client who so buys each person. But when we look at houses, because he buys, but for me, it's when we're looking at them, it's going to help me understand what it is about the house that I've got into. What is it that you're excited about? Help me understand why you're about this house. I need to have him get on the web tester, try and get it out on a home. So it's just really helping him get to like.
Mine a lot better with. Payment and. What's the big deal about that? You have to ask something. That's a big thing.
Well, you tell me. What do you?
understand why.
Okay, start wrapping that up. When would be a good time? When would be a good time is our next magic word that is used in place of, would you like to meet? Would you like to go see this property? Would you like to look at what your home value is currently worth? When would be a good time for us to sit down and look at what your home is worth in the current market? So that you know what your buying power is and your options.
Can I pose kind of I'm always, okay, hi. With this, I always am like, that makes them have to decide, which is great, and it's not a yes, no question. When I first started on the team that I was on, it was always, hey, I have time tomorrow, either at this time or this time, which one works? Like, can we, and maybe we can talk about this, but like, what's the benefit of give them that space to choose? Instead of going, hey, I have options for you. Like, does that make sense? Kind of what I'm asking, like, kind of, yes, it leaves it open, but also changing it to force them to.
So
pick a time.
let's run something real quick. You want me to come and meet with you for a buyer consultation.
Okay.
So give me your, I have this time and this time.
Okay, so hey, Robin, it looks like it would be really beneficial for both of us just to meet and talk about the buying process. I actually have time tomorrow, either at 2 in the afternoon, or I can even meet later at 6. Do either of those times work?
Oh,
good for
no,
you?
they don't.
Okay. When would be a good time? There we go. We just answered my own question.
So what I don't like, and I was trained with the this or that, close, and there's a reason people use it. For me, if neither of those times work for them, now we've created clunkiness. Now we've created, there isn't that seamless moving through the process. I also am less likely to use that this time or this time close if I'm not sure they're really close. Like if they are so excited to meet with me and yes, let's do this, I want to do it yesterday. Then I am more apt to say this time or this time, and if neither of those work, no problem, when would be a good time for you? But if I am still new in the relationship and working to get them closed to meeting with me, I am more likely to go to the when would be a good time, because what's not a natural answer to that is no. So where I can say neither of those times work for me, and then we're stuck, and then I have to adjust, and they've already told me no. Or if you say, you know, would it work for us to sit down and go through this and this? No, not really. But when would be a good time? No, is weird. People don't want to be weird. So I use this more if you are trying to close for the appointment. Make sense? Okay. Let's roll it. When would be a good time? Rolling with each other. Again, you can pick the same partner. If one partner hasn't gotten to come up with an idea yet and the other has been doing all of the sharing, make the other one carry the load a little bit. When would be a good time? Go.
I'm changing.
And you go, well, when is your husband available?
I'm gonna go home and use this one with my husband. What would be a good time for us to schedule our trip to Paris? Okay, so I'm not sure it's for you, but this is this does a couple of things. One, this relieves the pressure. This is the no risk conversation. So this enables you to bring a new idea to a prospect. This enables you to open up the opportunity to explore buying or selling or investing, or working with you as their agent. I'm not sure if it's for you, but, and then you can talk about what it is that you're presenting. So I'm not sure if it's for you, but I would love to sit down and look at what your home's current value is so that you know what your options are in our market. I'm not sure if it's for you, but I've sold a lot of homes in this neighborhood and I'd love to share with you a little bit about what it is that we do. I'm not sure if it's for you, but I send all my clients and friends a monthly update on what's happening in the market, and I would love to add you to it. I'm not sure if it's for you, but I'm hosting a wealth management workshop and networking event, and I would love for you to attend as my guest. I'm not sure if it's for you, but I'm not sure if it's for you takes away any pressure, because if they say, no, I don't think that's really for me, great, because I didn't know if it was for you, and now we've confirmed it's not. The magic of this phrase is that three-letter word, but. If somebody says, oh my gosh, you were just so beautiful, but, excuse me, but what? The reason is that three-letter word negates everything that you said before it. So, you know, honey, I really appreciate everything it is that you do, but that you're about to get a complaint. That is erasing the nice thing that was said before. So our brains process that word that way, which means when you say, I'm not sure if it's for you, but their brain is going to wipe out, this is not for me. And it is going to be automatically listening for, in what ways is this for me? So a little Jedi mind trick there. So I'm not sure if it's for you, but my suggestion on this one is try this out when something really scares you to have a conversation with somebody about it. Like if you are newer in the business and you are making your first calls to talk about giving somebody a market analysis and you're dealing with imposter syndrome and this feels really scary, try the I'm not sure if it's for you, but that's a really nice way to ease yourself into that conversation. And again, to take out the risk both for them and for you. If you are looking at moving into a higher price point or working with a different type of transaction than you have before, or building a relationship with an attorney, maybe doing some exchange with probate attorney, whatever the case is for you and your business right now, try this one out when it's something that makes you nervous. So pair off, and I'm not sure if it's for you, but
I'm not sure if you're. When you dig into it like that, you guys maintain. Much better. I've seen a few.
Well, I mean, yeah,
They are.
Mine right now, I've got a lot of things that are, being a little stingy, or like not. I don't know if it's right, but I thought it's perfect. It's just outside your limit, but it's not exactly the type of.
hey, wrap those up.
Oh, it'd be easy.
All right, what do you know about? What do you know about? This question, this opener, allows you to wipe the slate with the person that you are talking to so that they can actually hear the information that you are sharing. So this one is particularly effective when you are introducing an idea to someone that is maybe contrary to their current opinion about it. Or when you are talking to someone who is a little bit of a know-it-all. And as you start talking through the process, wants to tell you how the job gets done. In the broker role, I have received no less than probably 5 calls a week from agents who are absolutely frustrated because their clients who have never bought or sold a house before are trying to tell them what the process is going to be like instead of the reverse. And so it happens. What do you know about is a really nice way to avoid that happening. So before you're talking about whatever subject it is you're going to share about, to just say, what do you know about? So what do you know about the recent settlement from the National Association of Realtors and the impact that it's going to have on our market? So what do you know about the changes in how real estate is sold that are a direct effect of that settlement? So what do you know about the process of listing your home and selling in the current market? So what do you know about how we operate differently than other agents in the market? What do you know about? And then you shut up and you let them talk. And either they're going to share with you what it is that they think that they know. And if that thinking is flawed, you can say, oh, help me understand where you're getting the information about the seller. Help me understand what's led you to believe that. Help me understand that being your perspective of what's happening in the market. So that's a nice one that you can stack. Or you're going to say, what do you know about? And they are going to check their files and go, oh, I actually don't know anything about that. Oh, okay, great. This is, and then you can talk about it. And you have now cut off that part of their brain that would have an impossible time hearing what it is that you were saying because they already decided they knew all of the answers. Make sense? So what do you know about how buyers compare the pricing on properties to the other listings in the area? What do you know about the difference in an agent that's acting as a fiduciary and someone who's acting as a functionary? What do you know about? All right, same exercise, throw on. What do you know about?
That one the other day, they wanted to look at. Yeah, I said, you don't really know about it. You know, it's like, okay, yes, but.
Yeah.
Do you wanna?
You don't.
Okay.
Yeah. come on in. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, so, okay. And I'm pretty What do you know about this house? So, working with It's not turned in.
Oh, you know.
And my most recent honest is I've actually done with all my buyers, they're all gonna be able to get around, well, they're all looking out, but. What do you know about? But honestly, it's made the commission conversation so easy. And I have like zero, like, pushback, like, oh, we're not paying you anyway, so like, that's. The staff, what they know about it, and a lot of times actually, sometimes one person is even really like,
So I don't know.
Okay,
You don't know anything about the lawsuit?
last one. How open-minded are you about?
It's like you need to go to more team meetings.
Who here likes to hallucinate that they are an open-minded person? Yeah, like if somebody walked up to me and said, are you open-minded? Immediately, yes, immediately, yes. Am I? I don't know, probably depends on the subject, but I like to see myself as an open-minded person. And I think that that's the case for most people. Although I'm very open-minded about it now. So, you know, conversely, if somebody came up and said, are you a closed-minded person? Kind of the initial reaction is, well, no, not at all. I'm open-minded. So how open-minded are you about is the way to introduce an idea that you want them to be open-minded about, that you want them to keep an open enough mind to explore. So how open-minded are you about meeting with other agents before you make a decision? This is if they have said, I'm going to work with a different agent that is not you, and they haven't met with you yet. How open-minded are you to meeting with other agents before you make that decision? How open-minded are you about hearing what I have to offer that's a little bit unique before you make that decision and move forward? How open-minded are you about exploring areas that we haven't looked at properties yet? How open-minded are you about exploring the option of new construction? How open-minded are you about comparing what it would be to buy in our current market versus your situation with renting? How open-minded would you be about looking at what your home's current value is and finding out what your options are? How open-minded would you be about? Everyone get the match behind this one? All right, last one. Turn and roll for this one.
I get this wrong. But anyway, how open-minded are you about not putting? Explore other than.
They want to be very
Someone that just had a baby, that was out, you said.
Just
Because the plan was to do it all that one day. But it became.
Right, you know, I've got
And I don't ever like.
clients that are just.
I mean, it's something you could
All right.
Mine, I think.
So this week, our magic words
How kind are
is actually a process. It's the simple swap. So the simple swap is instead of, do you have any questions? What questions do you have for me? Instead of, can I get your phone number? What's your phone number? Super, super simple swap. Do you see what it changes? If not, I think we've got a video. Maybe a while closer.
Okay, so today we're going to talk simple swaps. What are simple swaps? It's where you're just going to rephrase something that you maybe say one way and get one result, and then phrase it slightly differently to get a demonstrably different outcome. Today I'm going to share just two simple examples of some simple swaps that you can start making immediately. The first is a tiny change. And it relates to a set of circumstances when you're looking to capture a key piece of information from somebody. Maybe that's a telephone number or an email address or access to a social profile. And when you're looking to capture that information, you might ask the direct question of do you have? For example, do you have an email address? Do you have a cell phone number? Do you have an Instagram? And what that does is it's often facing some form of friction. I see this with businesses now when they're looking to capture the email address of their client base, is they say, do you have an email address? And quite often they get the friction of like, yeah, I'm not really, or I don't really use it, or I don't really open it, and you miss the chance to capture the data. So instead of saying, do you have, simply rephrase the words to what's your. So what's your email address? What's your Instagram handle? What's your cell phone number? And watch how much easier it is to be able to capture the data that you need. There's first simple swap. What about the second one? This one's perhaps more profound. And I'm wondering if you've ever heard the objection, I just need some time to think about it. And chances are that if you've heard that objection, you might have been a reason as to why that objection showed up. And it's often because you've reached for a sequence of words at the end of you presenting your information. And at the end of presenting your information, quite often what is asked by many is the sequence of words, do you have any questions? When you suggest to somebody, or you ask the question of somebody, do you have any questions? What you're suggesting to them is that they should have questions. However, if your presentation was fulfilling enough, then they shouldn't have any questions, or all their questions should be answered. They should have enough information to ask it, to make a decision. So when you say, do you have any questions? Their little voice thinks, well, I should have questions, but I don't have questions. What did I miss? And because they're thinking they may have missed something, they respond with things like, I need some time to think about it, because they feel like they don't have all of the information, because you made them feel that way. The simple swap is this. Change the words from do you have any questions to what questions do you have for me? And when you say what questions do you have for me, they often say no questions. No questions, which means they feel like they have all the information to make a decision, which means you can then invite them to take that decision. How do you do that? Well, you simply introduce the words the next step is. So the next step on from here is blank. And if you're uncomfortable with the next step, then try these words. So what happens next is. So there are two simple swaps. Move away from do you have to what's your, and move away from do you have any questions to what questions do you have from me, and watch how you remove the friction in conversations, helping people make decisions more freely. See you again soon. Bye-bye for now.
Right. So. Did that make sense? Yeah? So what questions do you have for me? Oh, no, I don't have any questions. Great. The next step is, do you see how that creates a permission for you to close? So you finish your listing presentation. What questions do you have for me? None. Great. The next step is for us to schedule the photographer. When would be a good time for you, for them to come and take pictures? Make sense? Y'all, I know it's hot in here, so thank you for sticking in. And then the, can I get your phone number, or do you have that changed to what's your phone number? It's also, you're asking a simple question that their brain has an automatic answer to. So if you say, I'd like to call you and set up a time for us, blah, 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 blah. They've got to think through, do I actually want to meet with this person? Do I want to talk to them about that? Do it, like, you are opening up a more complex decision-making process for them. If you just say, what's your phone number? They are more likely to just give you their phone number because it is an automatic response. Great. So I'll be finished at this open house at 2 o'clock. I know of a couple of other homes in this area that match what it is that you're describing. So I'll call you when I finish here and tell you about this, and when you decide if it's something you want to go see. And you have the phone number, so now you can follow up with them, and they can be added to your database. Make sense? Okay, so what questions you have for me, and when you role play this one, I would like you to lead into that either the next step is, or here's what happens next. Because it's not of much use that you create the opportunity to close if you don't then turn around and close. So what questions do you have for me? Great, the next step is, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and assume you can all do the what's your phone number without having to practice that one, yeah? Okay, great. So what questions do you have for me? Go.
Good boy, how would I told you that? My house was quite a few of our ways, one of the questions. Okay, well.
I mean, I kind of use similar, it sounds like it's the house to really interesting, what questions would you have about offers? Also assuming that close. Right up to
Any question you have? We do it all
everything electronically, or you can give them the option.
And you do it. Yeah. And you do it electronically.
About you.
When you, for instance, you go over all their offers.
And we go back and what you. And we do it electronically.
Yeah.
That the next. So, yeah, we can do it electronically. You know, stuff is like it's, you know, all of it. Whether it's. We can up in our team and find out.
Okay, so a reminder, Thursday from 8 until 4, Phil Jones with his cute little accent will be presenting these magic words and more. And what I really loved about the class on Monday is that he goes through how to stack them. Exactly as you stacked the what questions do you have for me with the next step is, or here's what happens next. And that's when this really starts coming together in a flow of a conscious conversation. So Thursday between 8 and 4, you can listen in on those. You can find all of these magic words in the book, exactly what to say. There is a version of this written specifically for real estate agents, called like exactly what to say for real estate agents. I have both. I'm gonna be honest, I actually like the original a little bit more. So you can fight me on that. I am open-minded to being wrong. But I would say either get both or start with the exactly what to say if you're wanting to pick up the book. And then as you're working with these, as you are using these, as you are building this skill, use them in low risk situations. These are not just for business. These are not just for talking to clients. So getting those reps in by, you know, like I said, I'm going to go home and have a conversation with my husband about when it would be a good time for us to go to Paris. But looking for the low risk conversations that you can practice these in will make a much bigger difference in your ability to use them in the higher risk, higher stakes conversations. What questions do you have for me? All right, well, here's what happens next. We've got lunch in the cafe, and then you can come back in here and have our lunch and learn with B Money and get all of that good information to get your buyers off the fence. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying in the heat with me. We do have the property manager on it, and have a fantastic week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.